On the last World Cup video we were looking at match day 6 in the second round of Asian qualifying, including this goalbuster from Cricket of Thailand. Well, there's only one October World Cup video left to do, and it's the second legs of the first round in Africa, starting at the Addis Ababa Stadium in Addis Ababa, as Ethiopia took on Tome and Principe. And it took less than a minute for Ethiopia to right the 1-0 deficit they had, thanks to a goal from Fikadu. At around about the same time in the second half, Ethiopia were given the opportunity to take the lead in the tie thanks to this handball. In the 48th minute, Panam had no problem converting the penalty. Ethiopia's safe passage to round 2 was confirmed in the 75th minute thanks to an easy finish from Locke. Final score 3-0, with Ethiopia also winning 3-1 on aggregate. After winning 2-0 in the first leg, Tanzania travelled to Malawi at the Comoros Stadium in Blantyre, hoping to hold on to that lead. Malawi did score in the 43rd minute through Banda, however it was only a consolation and Tanzania won 2-1 on aggregate. Kenya only really had to go through the motions against Mauritius at the Moi National Sports Centre in Nairobi, as they'd won the first leg 5-2. And it showed as both teams had near chances, but no one actually scored, with the game finishing 0-0, Kenya going through 5-2 on aggregate. Botswana hosted Eritrea next at the Francistown Stadium in Francistown, but it was Eritrea that took the lead in the 9th minute through Tome. And while that funky tune played, Botswana were able to get their equaliser thanks to this free kick from Ngele, which, despite what Eritrea may think, did cross the line. According to the referee, I can't really tell from here. Good dance though. That goal was in the 15th minute, and 6 minutes later, Botswana had taken the lead on the day thanks to this header from Mogorosi. In the 79th minute, Botswana were able to add a third as Ngele gained his second goal of the game with this blast. The final score was 3-1 and Botswana win 5-1 on aggregate. We were at the Prince Louis Rwagasore Stadium in Bujumbura next for Burundi v the Seychelles, and in the 71st minute the Seychelles conceded this penalty, scored by Abdul Razak. 10 minutes later, Abdul Razak was able to get his second of the game, getting on to the end of this cross. Final score 2-0 to Burundi, 3-0 on aggregate. Niger took a 2-0 lead home to the Stade General Sani Kuch in Niamey as they looked to finish off Somalia, and they began this in the 13th minute with a goal from Cisse. The score was 2-0 only 5 minutes later as Marzu raced up the field to shoot home. Marzu then scored another similar goal from a different position to make it 3-0 in the 32nd minute. The scoreline was even more emphatic for Niger at the end. After 68 minutes, this long mazy run ended up at the feet of Cisse, who tapped in an easy goal. Final score 4-0, 6-0 on aggregate. Sierra Leone took on Chad at the Adekia Misimaka Stadium in Port Harcourt, and unfortunately I couldn't find any footage. I don't even think this photo's from the game. In goals, Jimranga gave Chad the lead in the 45th minute, Kamara equalised in the 70th minute, and Cisse gave Sierra Leone the lead in the 79th minute. On aggregate it was 2-2 and Chad go through on away goals. Moving on to a game I could find footage for, Lesotho took on Comoros at the Lesotho Stadium in Maseru. Saterumane was able to nod Lesotho into the lead in both the game and the tie itself in the 17th minute. The outcome of the game was turned on its head in the 71st minute when Mjangama scored to make it 1-1. You'd think he'd be a bit happier though, as that goal ensured that Comoros would be going through on away goals. After a 1-1 first leg scoreline, Namibia hosted Gambia at the Sam Nujoma Stadium in Windhoek. Gambia would be the team taking the lead though via Dibba in the 10th minute. Namibia equalised in the 42nd minute thanks to a tap-in rebound from Stefana. And you can't really tell too well thanks to the sunlight, but in the 63rd minute Samayeb scored for Namibia to give them a 2-1 win and 3-2 on aggregate. The Estadio 22 de Setembro in Bissau hosted Guinea-Bissau v Liberia, and Liberia raced into a 2-0 lead in the first 12 minutes, both goals by Djibouti. That was one of them, I don't know which one. Guinea-Bissau were able to get a goal back 2 minutes from half-time thanks to this close-range effort from Kasama. Liberia got their third in second half injury time thanks to Jabor's hat-trick, which the cameraman didn't really get that well. Liberia win 4-2 on aggregate. Back at the Mahamasina Municipal Stadium in Antananarivo, we had Madagascar v the Central African Republic. And it was the Central African Republic that took the lead thanks to a goal from Guerrier in the 7th minute. Hopefully he can make it out, but Madagascar equalised in the 15th minute thanks to a goal from Ranamahefa. Almost 20 minutes later, Madagascar were rewarded a penalty thanks to that foul in the box. Adrian Tenaina wasn't able to score the penalty, but he was able to snap in the rebound on 34 minutes. The Central African Republic did get one more goal back in the 44th minute, this header from Dagulu. The final score was 2-2, but Madagascar go through 5-2 on aggregate. After it took 2 days to complete the first leg, we only needed 1 day at the Stade Olympique in Nouakchott as Mauritania took on South Sudan. Mauritania took the lead on 4 minutes through Ahmed. We then had to wait until the 62nd minute for the next goal, as Begidi hid behind the World Cup to prod home a second for Mauritania. As the game reached its climax, Mauritania managed to get a third goal. This one was scored by Samba in the 85th minute. And they weren't finished there, putting the newest footballing nation in the world down to a 4-0 defeat. Diakite scored the fourth thanks to a massive deflection 2 minutes into injury time. Final score 4-0, Mauritania win 5-1 on aggregate. The last game to take place was at the Sompolo National Stadium in Lubamba as Swaziland took on Djibouti. The game was delayed a few days as Djibouti were not able to make the original fixture. However, Swaziland did not delay their first goal, with Draco scoring in the 6th minute. Unlike the first leg, this match was not the one-sided beatdown that Swaziland were hoping for, and Djibouti equalised in the 22nd minute with a goal from Issa. Swaziland were not to be stopped, however, and in the 43rd minute, Draco scored his third goal of the tournament to make it 2-1. The game ended with that scoreline, but the aggregate scoreline was far more impressive at 8-1. That's it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed. We've got more next month, hopefully a bit more on time, from North, South America, and Asia and Africa. So like and subscribe.